beautiful morning to you out there listening to Voice of the People 96.1 FM. It is Monday 31st July 2023 and the studio time is 5 minutes past 7. Good morning and welcome to Front Page Review on your number one dial 96.1 FM Abuja, Voice of the People. Now you have a voice. My name is Ali Udoma and I officially welcome you on the program Front Page Review. I hope you're doing well this morning. Today is the last day of the month. Hope you're getting set for another brand new month starting from tomorrow. Don't forget to make your plans for the next month. Yes, you have to plan adequately and also reflect on the past month. What have you achieved? What were you able to achieve based on what you planned to achieve this year? Where did you get it wrong? Where did you get it right, so that you have a better result come next month? Let's hit the ground running with this particular headline that we have on the Punch newspaper that says Niger coup plotters dismiss ECOWAS threat, Bazoum reinstatement. Niger coup plotters dismiss ECOWAS threat, Bazoum reinstatement. Let's go into details of this particular headline that says the Economic Commission of West Africa States Authority of Heads of State and Government on Sunday in Abuja issued a 7-day ultimatum to the Niger Republic military to release and reinstate President Mohamed Bazoum as the legitimate head of state and government of the landlocked state. But in a swift reaction, the Niger Post rejected the call and warned ECOWAS against military intervention, saying, "We want to once again remind ECOWAS or any other adventurer of our firm determination to defend our homeland." ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government held an extraordinary meeting on Sunday at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa, Abuja, to discuss the next line of action on the development in Niger Republic. Recognizing Bazoum as the legitimate president, the bloc rehashed its earlier resolution to explore all measures necessary to restore democratic governance in Niger. Such measures may include the use of force. To this effect, the chiefs of defense of state of ECOWAS are to meet immediately. President of the ECOWAS Commission Omar Torre said when he read a communique at the end of the extraordinary summit on the socio-political situation in the Republic of Niger. Punch reported that members of the Nigerian Presidential Guard detained President Bazoum and later declared General Abdurrahmane Tiani as the nation's new leader. Tiani, who has headed the Presidential Guard since 2011, said he was the new president of the National Council for the Safeguard of the Homeland. The military also issued a warning about the consequences that will flow from any foreign military intervention, saying certain dignitaries are in thinking of confrontation which will end in nothing but the massacre of the Nigerian population and chaos. But reading the communique of the ECOWAS leaders on Sunday, Torre said the bloc had resolved to recognize only official acts of President Bazoum or his duly mandated officials, reject any form of resignation that may purportedly come from him, and considered the illegal detention of President Bazoum as a hostage situation. Aside from the 7-day ultimatum, the ECOWAS authority at the summit also imposed immediate sanctions on Niger, including the closure of land and air borders between member states and Niger. They also imposed a no-fly zone on the Niger Republic and suspended all commercial flights to and from Niger. They also suspended financial transactions between ECOWAS member states and Niger. Furthermore, assets of the Republic of Niger in the ECOWAS Central Bank, Niger State enterprises, and parastatals in commercial banks will be frozen. Niger will also be suspended from all financial assistance and transactions with financial institutions within the ECOWAS. Therefore, ECOWAS called on the West African Monetary Union and other similar regional bodies to implement these resolutions. Additionally, the bloc imposed immediate travel bans and froze the assets of the military officials involved in the coup attempt, their family members, and civilians who agreed to participate in any institution or government established by the Tiani-led regime. Torre revealed that the Authority of Heads of State had appointed and dispatched a special representative of the chair of the authority to Niger immediately to deliver its demands. In his remark, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, the chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, called for swift implementation of these resolutions, demanding that the coup plotters surrender and return to their barracks. He went further. He said, "Our message is clear and unequivocal. The coup plotters in Niger must surrender, return to their barracks, and allow the popular will of the people to stand and thrive without let or hindrance. They bear full responsibility for any breakdown of law and order, including the current atmosphere of fear and uncertainty in the country that has arisen from the military takeover. The decisions and recommendations made today, that's yesterday Sunday, and their faithful implementation by all, including the unwavering support of the international community, will serve as the bedrock upon which we can build a brighter future for Niger and the entire region," Tinubu said. Sunday's meeting is at the behest of President Tinubu, who also held bilateral meetings with President Omara Embalo of Guinea-Bissau, President Idris Deby of Chad, and U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of African Affairs Michel Held. Present were President Patrice Talon of Benin Republic, Alassane Ouattara of Cote d'Ivoire, Adama Barrow of the Gambia, Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana, Umaru Embalo of Guinea-Bissau, Macky Sall of Senegal, and Faure Gnassingbé of Togo. President of Cape Verde, Liberia, Niger, and Sierra Leone were represented. But rejecting ECOWAS call, Niger military leaders warned against any military intervention in a statement read on Niger national television, and he said the objective of the ECOWAS meeting is to approve a plan of aggression against Niger through an imminent military intervention in Niamey in collaboration with other African countries that are non-members of ECOWAS and certain Western countries. This is something that is happening in Niger Republic, which we are neighbors, close neighbor. But again, it tells us a lot about the African continent. How ready are we in terms of our democratic dispensation? What is the role of the military? How can we have or enjoy a continuous democracy without being disrupted by any military coup or military interference or what have you? And again, it is good to be on record that Niger Republic got their independence in 1960, but this is the first time that they are having a successful transition from one democratic government to another after Mohamed Bazoum took over affairs as the president of the country. And the current leader of the presidential guard, talking about Abdurrahman Tiani, has been the head of the presidential guard right from 2011. He was with Isufu Ahmed, the former president. He worked with him throughout his 2 terms, and now working with this current president. And information has it that the relationship between the former president and Mohamed Bazoum deteriorated over time, where some were even speculating that Mohamed Bazoum was trying to replace General Abdurrahman Tiani, who now happened to take over the affairs of the state. But what can ECOWAS do as a body to restore democracy in Niger Republic? Some analysts are saying the ECOWAS don't have the military force to implement anything in Niger Republic, because most of what they get, in fact, we can even take it as far as African Union, because most of the finances that African Union gets is from foreign countries. Invariably, they are saying that we don't even have independence on our own as African continent, because the African Union should be the first line to intervene in this particular situation. But the presidential guard, headed by General Abdurrahman Tiani, is bold enough now to challenge the outcome of or the resolution of the ECOWAS meeting that was held in Nigeria. So it tells you a lot about what these people are doing and how they view some of these organizations in terms of what happens in Africa. And I just want to take a close look at what is happening in Africa. In Somalia, at least 6.7 million Somalis, almost half of the Somalis 17.1 million population, face acute food insecurity, with 300,000 expected to experience famine this spring due to ongoing civil war since 1980s. And let's move to Mali. Mali had coup d'etat in 2021 and it is still facing insecurity, kidnapping and some conflicts. More issues and conflicts ongoing in other parts of Africa. The list cannot be exhausted. It is something that we just have to if you go to Ethiopia, Ethiopia's northernmost region of Tigray is at the center of a civil conflict involving ethno-religious militias, the federal government and the Eritrean military that has attracted the concern of humanitarian groups and external actors since November 2020. In Congo, conflict in DR Congo continues as over 5 million people are displaced and homeless, and other 1 million Congolese are seeking asylum in neighboring countries. Somalia, we've talked about that. Sudan, conflict ongoing since 1981. You can imagine that. No solution till date. In Kenya, recently, protests over high cost of living and high taxation, closure of schools and businesses. A lot of people are losing their life, and now Niger, coup d'etat. So what is happening in the African region, especially now that we're here in West Africa, Nigeria, very close to Niger Republic. We're border with Niger Republic. In fact, open border with Niger Republic from different states in Nigeria. The African Union should intervene. The ECOWAS should also intervene. But again, in terms of the intervention, now that they want to use military force, and the military who took over there, led by General Abdurrahmani Tiani, is saying that it's going to lead to chaos, loss of lives of Nigerians. What is going to be the best approach to this situation? Because for a country like Niger, who are characterized by a lot of insecurity, ISWAP, Boko Haram, a lot of jihadis and what have you, Al-Shabaab and the likes, with huge presence in the Niger Republic, if they are thrown into chaos, of course a lot of people from Niger would want to run into Nigeria, and it's going to pose a threat to our own territorial integrity when we know that our borders are not secured. We have very porous border. Me thinking out loud here this morning on this particular issue, because there are a lot of angles to this particular story. But again, we have to be mindful, we have to be very careful with this situation as a country, Nigeria. You can also join the conversation on Front Page Review on Voice of the People 96.1 FM Abuja. I'm going to open the phone line right now so that you can also be part of the conversation. I don't want to be talking alone. Yes, I would love to hear your own perspective to the story. Moreover, we have other stories that we will be taking a look at, but this is the first story that we are looking at. And by 7:30, we will be joining Rufai Oseni, who will also have his own say on this conversation that we are having this morning. Let's move to this particular one that happened over the weekend in Adamawa State, which I really want to talk about it. It concerns a lot of us in Nigeria and also how we do things in this country. But before I go on to the next story, let me open the phone line. 0700 010 961 961 0700 010 961 961. That is the number you can call for normal call, or you send your SMS, or you use it for the WhatsApp portal, or send your WhatsApp message or voice note. Yes, same number works for all, so you can do well to utilize that. I really want to hear from you. What is your thought, or what are your thoughts on what we have discussed so far? Let's move to the next headline that says Fintri declares curfew as hoodlums break into Nema warehouse, cut away palliatives. Governor Ahmadu Fintri of Adamawa State has declared curfew following the looting of a warehouse belonging to the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. Among the items looted were the ones that the government ordered to be distributed to cushion the effect of subsidy removal. The hoodlums were seen carrying food items including gallons of vegetable oil and bags of rice. Most of the hoodlums were youth, seen shouting "Enough of the hunger," packing bags of rice, gallons of palm oil, spaghetti, pump machines, and other valuable items. Daily Trust correspondent report that there were chaos, tear gas and gunshots all over the warehouse. The police intervened and dispensed tear gas to disperse the looters. However, the intervention wasn't enough to deter the hoodlums from fleeing with the stolen items. Normalcy has since returned to the affected areas as military personnel have taken charge of the warehouse. This is something that happened in Adamawa State, where a lot of people are coming out to react, especially on social media, with different opinion, different perspective to this particular headline. And I would love to hear your own take of this morning. What do you make of this situation? It is a situation that happened in Adamawa. Youths in their numbers, male and female, chanting enough of the hunger, broke into the warehouse of National Emergency Management Agency and carted away food items meant to be distributed to cushion the effect of subsidy removal, with some people saying, why didn't the government distribute the food items early enough when people are passing through a lot of challenges? While some will say the government need to make sure that everything is in place before they go about the distribution of this particular food items. But again, is it okay for you as a person to go break in warehouse that does not belong to you, even if the food is going to be distributed to the vulnerable or to the members of the state? Is it okay for you to go do that? I feel that is not the way forward. But again, it is also another sign to the government that this is the situation on ground. This is what people are passing through. You need to do something. You need to act fast. Don't forget, you may have a contrary opinion to this particular headline that I'm bringing. This is what I read and me thinking out loud here with my own thought. You can as well share your own thought on this particular thing. What do you make of the situation? Breaking of warehouse that took place in Adamawa State, and now the governor has imposed a curfew of 24 hours. Only people on essential services will be allowed to move around in Adamawa State. The number to call 0700 010 961 961 0700 010 961 961. That is the number to call and be part of the conversation this morning. Again, before we link up with Rufai Oseni at 7:30, let's take a look at this particular headline that says, every Biafran must obey Nnamdi Kanu, stop observing sit-at-home order, according to IPOB. The indigenous people of Biafra has once again enjoined the people of Southeast Nigeria to stop listening to Finland-based Biafra agitator Simon Ekpa. Ima Powerful, the spokesman for IPOB, said in a statement, every Biafran must understand the importance of this letter. If you are a lover of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you must listen to him. Powerful, who wondered why Ekpa would declare himself Prime Minister of Biafra while Kanu, whom he claims is his leader, is languishing in detention, charged Igbos to stop giving credence to the enemy of Indigbo and Biafrans claiming to be Kanu's disciple. He said perhaps when Mazi comes out, he will become the fake disciple's deputy or personal assistant. Every Biafran must stop observing any sit-at-home order from the infiltrators. The IPOB spokesman further noted the reckless enforcement and abuse of sit-at-homes is an opportunity for criminals to kidnap, murder, maim and snatch cars from innocent citizens. This government-sponsored criminality and violent enforcement of sit-at-home have endangered the lives of our people through the invasion of murderous and overzealous Nigerian security agent. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has sent message through his visitors at DSS dungeon to the infiltrators to stop the reckless sit-at-home several times, all to no avail. And there is actually related headline that I saw also on the Punch newspaper that says Kanu returns to DSS custody after check-up by personal doctor. The leader of the separatist indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, was on Sunday returned to the custody of the Department of State Services after being released on Saturday to be attended by his personal physician. The Federal High Court in Abuja had on July 20th ordered the DSS to grant Kanu access to his personal physician, dismissing the DSS objection to the prayer. According to IPOB, Kanu is suspected to be suffering from an ear infection and needs surgery. Counsel for the IPOB leader, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, told Punch correspondent in a phone conversation on Sunday that Kanu, who has been in detention since 2021, had access to his personal physicians and had been taken back into custody. Ejiofor said he has been attended to. And after preliminary examinations, he was taken back. The lawyer, however, declined further comment on his health conditions, amongst others. Ejiofor had tweeted on Saturday that Kanu met with his personal doctor in a hospital in Abuja outside the facility of the DSS. We will be going on a short commercials. When we come back, we will open the phone lines again. I'm going to give the number again. Meanwhile, I will also link up with my guest, El-Rufai Oseni, who will also add more color to the conversation. Stay with us and don't change your dial. This is Voice of the People, 96.1 FM Abuja, front page review. My name is Ali Udoma.
Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less.
Are you traveling to Lagos and desire a perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, number 42 Murtala Mohammed International Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in our beautiful appointed rooms, featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Now, whether you are traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your every need is met. We also offer complimentary pick-up and drop from the Lagos airport.
Why not take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant?
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So why wait? Book your stay today and experience the ultimate in comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort.
Believe me, believe me.
We have been serving you hot and fresh content on radio, and you have been loving it. Now we're taking it further. Catch us live on YouTube at BOP TV for all the juicy content you can't resist. Talk shows, exclusive interviews, news, lifestyle, and more. It's all about you. BOP TV, show up, speak up.
The award-winning pizza in the US is now here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Romeo, the pizza champions, and Coldberry ice cream.
Delight in every school.
Visit any of our outlets and feel the rich taste from the pizza champions and Coldberry ice cream.
At number 4, Obomosho Street,
Area 8, Geriki, Abuja, or 3rd Avenue, Gwaripa, Abuja, or Federal Housing Estate, Phase 2, Lube, Abuja. Call 0908-831-5906 or 0908-831-5908 or 0909-238-9861. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at romeospizza.ng. Website www.romeospizza.ng. Romeo, the pizza champions.
Welcome back, and in case you just joined, this is Front Page Review on Voice of the People 96.1 FM Abuja. It's time for us to link up with our guest analyst. He's already live online. Good morning, Mr. El-Rufai Oseni, and thank you for joining us this beautiful Monday morning.
Bless your Leo, bless Abuja, bless you.
How was the weekend? I hope it was well.
Oh, I was all right. Bless you.
All right, thank you. We have quite a number of headlines that we will be looking at. One is what happened in Adamawa State, the looting of a NEMA warehouse by citizens of Adamawa State. We also have Niger coup plotters dismiss ECOWAS threats. And also...
Okay, let me take this.
Okay, go ahead.
I totally condemn the looting in Adamawa. The fact is, it's not right. You don't go out there and loot government property. You don't even go out there and loot any property at all or steal.
Yeah.
But the truth, as they said the looters were shouting hunger, hunger, hunger.
Yeah.
There is hunger in the land, but it's no excuse for you to go loot. But government too should also deal with the hunger in the land. We have not done enough to be able to give palliatives to the people, and people are passing through a high level of inflation in that country, and they don't even understand the direction. So the government too must also do its part, but I don't support looting. As regards the coup plotters in Niger, the coup plotters are putting a word out and they're trying to rally support. Already, Eugenie Prigozhin of the Wagner group that made a cameo at St. Petersburg when Putin was having his Russian-African summit, is saying that, oh, they'll not support. You see, the sad side to it is the fact that Wagner is already putting its fingers in African affairs. Wagner Dan is in Mali, is in Burkina, is also in Guinea. Mali and Guinea, you've had two coups.
Yes.
And those coups, they're led by people that have leanings with Russia. They're trying to go against their colonialist head, France, Assimi Goïta and Tombabaye. And you can see that ECOWAS are trying to talk to them about a transition, but they're not wanting it. They don't want a transition. Now, they're trying to stay put in power and get the support of Russia, which is very sad. And when Russia comes in, it comes in through Wagner. And now, in a case where Wagner too comes in to come and help Niger, it becomes a free-for-all. America has also got interest there. Don't forget, in Niger, there's a lot of uranium that France is there for. America and the likes and all them are there. America as well has a drone base in Niger. So that's why you see the interest abound, and that's why Americans are reaching out to us to be able to set it out. We had an ECOWAS parley yesterday, where we reached, a communique that talks about sanctions and pretty much putting up a no-fly zone around there. But for me, it's at this question how we're going to infect the no-fly zone into Niger, because you really need. The last time I remember in 2010, 2011, 2012, the Libyan wars, when you say no-fly zone, I remember it had to do with planes constantly sustained flying in the air and keeping the no-fly zone. And the Western partners did that while the fighting was going on by the local militias in Benghazi, Ras Ladouf, and a couple of other areas, Sirte in Libya. So, truth is, it's quite iffy to me. I don't get how that's going to go, but there's also an eventuality for scenarios, but I'm also very skeptical about that. A case where we have to put it on the ground. Hitherto, Nigeria has already stretched, and if ECOWAS is going to do anything as regards boots on the ground, it is still Nigeria that's going to take the capital part of it. That's why I'm even more iffy. And we shouldn't stretch our military even further because we have a lot of internal crisis, and we want to now import new jihadist actions from Niger. Anyway, we have incursions of the jihadist action because a lot of them are coming in through that Western African desert belt into Niger, into Chad, and all of that. Anyway, Idris Deby, before he died, was able to push them back into Nigeria and Cameroon. So they've got incursions. Vis-a-vis the fact that when you also look at the spread, there are other imminent crises across the border. You don't forget that we also have the case of the Ambazonians raging in Cameroon. In fact, they've constantly made incursions into Taraba, and so let's be very careful. And that's why sometimes you wonder, who do we have now? Do we have a good, foreign affairs chief that will be able to analyze all of these threats and all of that? At a point in time like this, you remember Henry Kissinger, and you're like, goodness me, that was a brain. It's still alive anyway. Kissinger turned 100 recently. So, but let's just analyze the threat effectively, and let's just be careful.
But now the leader, talking about General Abdurrahman Tiani, said certain dignitaries are thinking of confrontation, which will end in nothing but the massacre of Nigerian population and chaos. And now that
that's also another fear, my brother. I don't want that collateral damage of citizens. I don't want that killing, that bloodshed. I don't want that slaughter slab. I don't think the people of Niger, the Nigerians, deserve that, because all they've seen all their life is sufferings and poor government, and they've tried to refer it a couple of times, but it's been a lot of suffering, since the times of Sofu, Tangier, Zoom, it's just been a lot of suffering for the 26 million Nigerians. I don't want a case where we have another battleground out there in the city of Niamey.
So now, worst case scenario, Mr. Rufai, worst case scenario, if the battles begin, now look, how do we have enough manpower to sustain our territorial integrity?
So truth of the matter, worst case scenario, if we put boots on the ground and the battles begin, then we're going to have a very huge migrant and humanitarian crisis on our hands. Because a lot of those Nigerians are going to pour into our borders. I kid you not. Our borders are very porous. They're just going to pour in their drones into our borders. That's case scenario one. Number two, also small and light arms are going to come into our borders. So there's also a case scenario of likely militias through this area pouring into our borders with small arms. Anyway, they're already doing that already. So it's just going to intensify. So do we also have containment for those 26 million people who are fleeing war in the army? You see, those are the questions we need to ask ourselves strongly.
All right, let's move to another headline that says sit-at-home order. Biafra must obey Nnamdi Kanu, stop observing sit-at-home order, according to IPOB. And in a related headline also from the Punch newspaper says Kanu returns to DSS custody after checkup by personal doctor.
Yeah, so he went for a checkup by a personal doctor. Nnamdi Kanu, his lawyers also put out a note that they said he wrote. And I think I've personally made my voice heard about the sit at home is abhorrent, and I don't think it's right for people like Simon Ekpa that are living in peace and tranquility of Finland to now come and say all sorts. And the Finnish government too are looking at him, which is very sad. Let's keep the peace in the southeast, because that region can be a big hub for development. And let us stop all of this. And I'm happy that the people in the south is already standing up to this menace.
All right, on the Guardian newspaper, we have this headline that says, my policies on fuel subsidy removal, Forex regime yielding positive results, says Tinubu. You're making me to laugh this morning.
No, but that's comedy, no? Remember, that's Monty Python. That's comedy. It's not working. It's not working. Like you say, I don't like. Anyway, he was going to say it's working, but it's not. He knows it's failing, because if it's working, he wouldn't be saying it's working. He wouldn't be defending it. So it's just like Monty Python. You know a group called tell you, they're called the Economist Intelligence Unit. You know what? They gave a very damning report as regards the currency convergence policy yesterday. I was reading in the papers.
Okay.
And they said that the state does not have the capacity to manage its float regime. And at some point, they're going to reverse that. If care is not taken by 2027, the dollar is going to hit the naira over 1,000 naira. And if an empirical fact body, and by the way, too, it was that unit that predicted that there's not going to be any power shift, that the court is not going to do anything towards in terms of ruling the electoral petition.
Yeah.
So if the economists are saying that about your policy, then you know the policy was dead on arrival. And that's why we should be very careful as regards when the West pushes you. Prior to this time, the all that were pushing us, go and do currency convergence, go and do currency convergence. And as I said, I think our leaders don't learn from history. You thought Julius Nyerere, Walimu Julius Nyerere of Tanzania, you thought joking when he called the IMF, International Ministry of Finance. He wasn't joking. Because they will call you, they will try to do like the international ministry, and they'll push you to it. Didn't the IMF push us to disaster in '86 with SAP? Didn't SAP sap away all of our creative energy and uses? You see? So now they pushed us to this one again. Because we too, we don't learn. And we mismanage our economy so that we are going cap in hand to go and get a $3-4 billion special drawing money on them. So now they've pushed us to this one, converge the value. But you can see it's not working. Because I told people, this experiment, at some point you have to, so I'm happy the EIU has confirmed it. Because, anyway, I'm not saying that they are an authority of veracity for me anyway. Yeah, I'm not, I analyze based on empirical antecedents and I don't wait for other people to buttress. But, you can see we did it in '86. When we floated, we set up something called the Secondary Foreign Exchange Market, SEFM. Today, we are calling import and export window, I&E window. It's still the same as the SEF of '86, Secondary Foreign Exchange Market.
Yes.
Second tier foreign exchange market. But guess what? When we floated, it was going to find its level at 3 naira. The thing went up to 8 naira, 11 naira, and it never came back. So, our system, what will still be good for us is for us to earn enough dollar in such a way that the CBN can still manage the export rates. Yeah, you can say, but we have not grown to the extent where you can have a managed flow. It is when you develop industrially, when you have a good balance of trade with other countries of the world, when you have a thriving economy, that's when you can now say, okay, let's have a float based on market forces. That's when market forces can favor you. But you forget, in economics, Adam Smith will tell you that there's an unwritten hand somewhere. There's an unseen hand in every market, in every market force. And that's what we fail to realize. And that unseen hand is what they call balance of trade. Even if people have more balance of trade, the economy currently will be stronger.
Yes.
And I keep telling people from history, but they don't learn. Didn't Britain try it in 1992? SEFM. Didn't they try it in 1992 when what is it called? Exchange rate mechanism, ERM. But they suffered. And their currency lost a lot of value on Black Wednesday that Joshua made $1 billion from them. And that's why when the EU came again in 1998-99 and said, okay, come and join the euro. Thank God Britain had, as a Chancellor of the Exchequer, an historian. A lot of people don't know that Gordon Brown has a PhD in history. A very good one at that. And guess what? Gordon Brown said, never. I'm an historian. I knew what caused the problem in 1992-93. I will never make my country big. And he didn't. And that's why Britain didn't spend the euro before they came out of the eurozone. And his argument that there are peculiarities with the British economy. It's so peculiar and different that you now peg it with other currencies. It's going to destroy our economy and drive us into a recession.
And that's what we have in Nigeria.
That was correct. Yes, and it was correct. So you see, there's something called economic history. If you don't learn from it, and it's not by knowing it, it's by applying it.
Yes.
Because don't also forget, Kwesi Kwarteng, who that went to do the economic theory mumbo jumbo with Liz Truss, where they were trying to cut rates and trying to be Reaganite in their approach.
Yes.
you can see that he backfired,
Of
and
course.
before became the shortest prime minister in the UK. But guess what? He too has a PhD in economic history, but he didn't apply the history he knows.
It didn't work out for them. Had to
So it's
move
not
out of power.
it's about doing something with history. So we've told them. So when President Tinubu makes the analysis, I just laugh. He knows. He himself, he knows it's not working. That's why he's trying to drop. Don't worry. Reality will hit him soon.
All right, Vanguard newspaper has this one. No court order stopping us from peaceful protest, NLC tells federal government. The Nigerian Labour Congress has told the Solicitor General of the Federation and Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Justice, that there is no order, be it interim, interlocutory or perpetual, from either the National Industrial Court or any other courts restraining Nigerian workers from participating in a peaceful rallies convened by it.
Yes, there's no order. The right to protest is your constitutional right. So that's justice. So if they say they can't strike, at least they can protest. So there's no order. As simple as that.
All right.
Well, how did we get here? How did we get here? Let me just give you a background. Because the government failed in its responsibility. You promised to meet with NLC and in 8 weeks develop a framework for palliative and everything, and you were not forthcoming in the meetings. And now NLC said they are not meeting again. Government is not begging them. Be patient, be patient. So when you are doing something that's not right, people will have to react. Simple.
All right, let's take a look at this one, even though we talked about it last week, talking about the ministerial list, but why it's on the news today. Labour Party knocks Tinubu ministerial list. That is the perception that I want us to look at. From the leadership of the Labour Party has knocked President Bola Tinubu over the first batch of ministerial nominees unveiled by the Senate on Thursday. They said the ministerial nominees were an assemblage of recycled, spent forces and anti-democratic elements.
But truth has to be told, I will not knock this ministerial list. It's just a case of people that did favors. And the funny thing is, there were two people in that list that video evidence have come out to show that they said in the past that no, they don't want minister.
Yes. Yes.
But why are they correcting it now? Because see, they lack integrity. And these people have been ministers in the past. So you were minister before, you became governor, now you came back to minister. So, but apart from that, there are some good hands there. Like I talked about party, like I talked about, but I don't blame Labour Party for knocking them. It's sad.
All right, still on the Vanguard. I think this should be the final, or not the final, certainly, because I have one that I want to take from you. Presidential Tribunal, INEC, Tinubu, Atiku, Obi to adopt final addresses Tuesday.
Yeah, let's look at how the final address goes, so that we'll start to wrap this down, then so that when we see what the court rules, we'll be able to take on from there, focus on our lives and country.
All right, this particular one that says global petrol prices rises by 20%. This is also further to buttress your earlier analysis about this issue of fuel. There is still an upward review imminent in terms of fuel price in Nigeria, again because based on global prices it has gone up from $2.50 to $2.90 per gallon, and there is possibility of
let me make a prediction. You see, I foresee in the long run, there's probably going to be a reversal in some of these policies. I've said this thing before.
Yes.
The first policy, this fuel subsidy removal, maybe they might have to placate a little, at least to be able to bring about a stability on the pricing for people. I foresee some level of reversal because it's not sustainable this way. You see, again, like I said, you can't leave a population to the caprices of market forces. Like I said before, there's an unwritten hand that controls market forces called balance of trade. And when it comes to balance of trade, if you don't have an advantage, you don't have an advantage. It's just like you saying, Eyimba.
Yes.
Should go and play Madrid. Definitely, Real Madrid has advantage over Eyimba.
Of course.
And it will show.
Yes.
It will show.
Certainly.
So that So if you don't have an advantage, you don't have an advantage. And all these other countries, they have advantages because they have buffers, but we don't. So we are passing on the direct costs to our citizens. And I'm not even sure we are passing on the direct costs because there are some costs that probably the NMPC is taking care of. I don't know how it goes. And that's why we need transparency. And that's why that audit President Tinubu wants to do on CBN, they should also extend it to the NMPC. Forensic audit across the board. Let's even see it through.
All right, let's move to.
Bless you, bless you.
All right, bless you too. You want to run away?
Go ahead, go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
Currency in circulation hits 2.26 trillion naira, says CBN. We are back at it again.
But we're back at it again. I told you now. When the fine policy there, people because of they wanted to win elections, scuttle the policy. And now we are back at the things that pushed us to inflation in the first place. Alright? You see, when we politicize things, we get chaos from it. When we politicize politics, we get chaos from it. So we are back again. And that's also going to drive inflation. Don't worry. You remind me when currency circulation is about 4 trillion or 3 trillion.
Alright.
So that's.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Alright, that will be all.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, support an elderly care bill. Thank you, bless you.
All right, bless you too. Thank you very much for your input on the program today. All right, that has been El-Rufai Oseni, who has shared his own perspective to the stories that we have today. And you also have the opportunity. We have a little less than 3 minutes. Yes, 3 minutes to wrap up on the program this morning. You can as well call in the studio line and let's hear your take on some of these headlines that we have looked at this morning. Which of it interests you and you feel you want to contribute? Do well to call the studio line 0700 010 961 961. I'll take that again, 0700 010 961 961. We're also live on YouTube. If you want to watch what we do on VOP 96.1 FM Abuja, you can go to our YouTube handle, that is VOP 961, or you just type Voice of the People Abuja. You will see us there. We also have a very huge presence across all socials: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Threads at VOP 961. Our office is situated at number 4 Ogbomosho Street, Area 8, Garki, Abuja. In case you want to do business with us, just come to Area 8, Garki, Abuja. We are there, number 4 Ogbomosho Street. We share same building as Romeo's Pizza. Once you're there, you will certainly get to us. And also our website is www.abuja.voiceofthepeople.ng, www.abuja.voiceofthepeople.ng. We have looked at so many headlines today, thanks to our guest analysts who had also added more value to our headlines. We've looked at every Biafran must obey Nnamdi Kanu, stop observing, sit at home. We've also looked at this one that came from Adamawa Infantry, declares curfew as hoodlums break into Nema warehouse. We also look at the case of NLC that says no court order stopping us from peaceful protest. NLC tells federal government. We also look at Presidential Tribunal, INEC, Tinubu, Atiku, Obi to adopt final addresses tomorrow, Tuesday. Nnamdi Kanu only granted access to doctor but still in DSS custody. We've also looked at that. My policies on fuel subsidy removal, foreign regime yielding positive result according to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We've also looked at that. It's really funny because that was what I got from El-Rufai Oseni when I read that particular headline to him. It's actually funny because what we are passing through in this country is quite different from what we are hearing. And another one that we've looked at is the fact that global petrol prices rises by 20%. So I'm not spelling doom for Nigeria, but we should be expecting an increase in the price of fuel based on the market forces that we are now being allowed to cope with or to work with. Currency in circulation hit 2.26 trillion naira. We are back at it again. This is one thing that Godwin Emefiele complained of that led us to inflation. Now we're also back at it again. politicization of our policies has brought us back to where we were. And the other one is Niger coup plotters dismiss ECOWAS threat and Bazoum release or reinstatement. This is how far we can go today on Front Page Review on Voice of the People 96.1 FM Abuja. I hope you enjoyed what we brought to you in our bid to keep you informed with the latest happening in Nigeria and beyond. My name is Ali Udoma, and I say you should have a wonderful, wonderful day ahead. This is the last day in the month of July. Let me say I wish you happy August earlier than August. Stay with us and please don't change your dial. Up next will be Front Page Review in Igbo language titled Igbo Amaka with Miriam